Well, welcome. This is Introduction to Computer Science. My name is David Hayes, and I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody to begin with, and then if you have questions, go ahead and unmute yourself. Now, if you haven't used Zoom before, how you unmute yourself is either put your mouse at the top or the bottom, the bar pops up, and you'll see a mute option. You can click it or unclick it. Or you can just simply hold down your space bar while you ask your question and you let up on the space bar and mute you again. That's probably the easiest way. This is on Blackboard, of course. And we'll take a look at the syllabus. The course information contains my phone number and email address. If you need to contact me. And the textbook is in MindTap, which we'll talk about here in a minute. You can sit there and read these. Basically, let's give you an overview of the computer science field and get a little bit of touch of programming, a little bit of HTML, a little bit of CSS. Programming will focus around the JavaScript language. Although we also have you write a little bit of C++ and I think Java's the other one. The grades, assignments 45%, tests are 45%, final assessment is 10%. And here's the schedule. Okay, now here's the Zoom link for the live session. I treat all my computer science courses the same. I hold a synchronous session. So for even if it's the section that's fully online, I still hold this. People welcome to attend. If you can't attend, then I record this in YouTube video format and we'll upload it to that particular unit. If you're in a synchronous course, if you can't come, then again, I'm not going to penalize you. I take attendance off of signing into Blackboard because I know things come up. Now, Kali Digital Access here. If I click that, then you should see an option for your course, and you just click the View Course Materials, and then you can get in there to see it. That'll give you an access code. And then at that point, you go back to your course, go to course content. And you see two links here, Invitation to Computer Science and New Perspectives on HTML5. If I click one of these, doesn't matter which one, you'll eventually connect to both of them. But the first time you click on it, it'll have you create a Cengage account. So you'll go in, put in your name, your email, probably if you want to be spammed by them, or and at some point in time, it'll ask you for your access code, and you put in your access code, and then eventually go through and there'll be a window here which you'll close or read it or whatever. That's kind of an introductory window of what is MindTap. And then you eventually get to this. Now, this is the entire course. You're going to find a lot of information out here. Don't worry about all this. I opened this up so if you want to play with the extra material, you can. If I go back to Blackboard and go down to the unit, like Unit 1, this is the only material you need to worry about for this course. So here's a reading, here's a little bit of review with PowerPoints, reinforce, practice, and then here's the actual test. Now here's the reading on the second book for the HTML. So if you're over here and you're seeing all these ones says counts toward the grade and you're taking it, that's fantastic. But you don't have to. You're going to find there's a lot out here. Obviously not in that one. But some of these have lots of assignments under them, and don't worry about those. Like I say, if you want to play with it, you want to expand your knowledge, and feel free. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help on that. I leave that link there for the entire course, just so you can go beyond. But again, just to really emphasize it, only the links you see over here in Blackboard under the particular week is what you have to worry about. Now we cover this always on Friday morning, and it's now 1:29, and this says 1:31, and you're sitting there thinking, well, there's no way I'm going to get this done by Sunday. I don't require you to have it done by Sunday. So the like for that first test, let me get back to there. Just to verify data put on. Sorry, should have had my phone silenced. Must be an important call in Texas. I don't know anybody in Texas. Okay. Let me go ahead and oops, where's that? I guess I do got to change the due date on that. Okay, let me go ahead and change that. I set some of this up early in 5th. I always make it do a week from when I put it out there. And if you don't see it for a week from when I put it out there, then let me know. Make sure this is, yeah, this is a week from, okay. So again, the two items you have to worry about for grading purposes for this first unit is the Unit 1 test and this right here. Now the Unit 1 test is set up for one attempt, but there's no time limit on it, so you can open up your book and so forth. Now if I come over here, let's talk a little bit about some of these different items. This right here, the Unit 1 read, takes you to the book, and that's what this this link does too. See if I click that. I already had its Cengage tab open, so it's reloading it. Takes you directly to the ebook there for that chapter. Now, if you want to bring up the entire book, over here on the right-hand side, you'll see this little blue book. If I click the blue book, it'll bring up the full book here. And there's a table of contents up here in the upper left-hand corner where you can browse through. You can pick whichever chapter you want. There's a lot of other tools available over here too, so if you want to play with those, you're welcome to. That's the only one I'll really talk about. You'll notice that there's an X up here. Of course, that closes it. An X here closes that. These 4 arrows, that means makes it full screen. Okay. Anyway, that's MindTap. And there's two books associated with the course. One, that right there, I pretty much just let you go off on your own and do it. I cover the programming side, HTML, the CSS, the JavaScript, and so forth. But the other book is A New Perspectives on HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript. See, this is the kind of thing you get sometimes. This is from the instructor side, but yeah, Skip got it set up. Okay, tutorial 1, getting started with HTML5. You see there's a tutorial 1 code here. And again, these say counts toward grades, but there's no link for it in Blackboard, so you don't have to worry about these. I used to assign a couple of these when I first started teaching this course. I thought that was kind of cool. It would automatically grade it for you. Makes my life easy, gives you immediate feedback and so forth. Okay, this gives you a summary, and this shows the page that you're looking to grade. And kind of walks you down through the instructions here. Click next step, this right here. Says to the right of this, enter your name and date in the comment section of each file. So David Hayes, date 1/29/2021. Then you go through and do all the rest of this stuff. And look like I can make that bigger. Primitive editor. Okay. Now, when you got something here, then okay, see here's the refresh down here. And this will refresh it. I had to move it. It was conflicting with my Snagit toolbar there. So you can see it. Or you can click this to open a new browser tab. To change from file to file, you can just click whichever one. There's the comments. Here's the CSS file, so forth. You see it opens up a new tab here. You can close these. Like I said, I'm not going to assign any of these, but if you want to play with them, you can. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, new file. If I click there, test.html, create file. So that's how you can create a file. How do you delete a file? 3 little dots to the right of it. Rename it, duplicate it, download, or delete file. So now as you go through and you think you finished them, then you click these. And if I expand that, it says, hey, doesn't look like you're anywhere close. You know, here's what's incomplete, what you haven't done. That may or may not be useful. Okay, anyway, that's how you use that feature there. And all these are based upon there being a little X up here, so you can close it, and that goes back to here. If your goal is to be a web engineer of some sort, webmaster, You want to design web pages for a living, you should probably go through and try to do every one of these. Why did I quit using them? They don't grade correctly. I'd have people that would get Jed's tree care looking exactly perfect to me, but there was some little piece um, that would be counted wrong, and then I'd had to. It was just a pain with this automatic grading. It just didn't work. Okay. Um, Here's creating a web page. And this shows creating a web page on a MacBook Pro. If you have a Chromebook, email me and I'll create instructions for creating a web page on a Chromebook. Now, I'll probably put this out early, but then the project I won't put out until we cover it in class. So um, you'll see this appear on sometime on Friday, so you can see what the project is for the week, if there is one. Now I'm going to cover a lot of material as we're going through. So my goal is to give you a pretty good overview of the computer science area. Here's the little folder. You can click that to bring a file folder. You can probably click your start button, find it somewhere here. What I usually go to is if I got Windows 10, I click in the search, and as you start typing file, and then you can find it there. If I don't got the button here, I usually don't have the patience to go through the menu here. Now it doesn't always work, this search. Like I installed the newest version of NetBeans this morning, so I could for the Java programming class, I'd make sure my interface matched theirs. But when I searched here, all I came back and found was my old version. So I had to break down, unless that gives it to me. Oh, that would do it too. Okay, I guess I should have read a little bit closer. So anyway, that's useful. Okay, so when this comes up, it may look like this, or it may look like that. Over here on the right-hand side, this expands it or collapses it. You want to create a folder, and so my C drive, click my C drive here. Over here in the white space, how you create a folder in File Explorer is you right-click and you choose New and Folder. And I'm going to call this Spring HTML. And press enter. To go into the folder, you double click it, and then we're in here. Now, we want to choose to view our extensions. So I'm going to click View, and you see where it says File Name Extensions. By default, that's shut off. I think anybody that's going into computer science should definitely show their file name extensions, because it's kind of a double check on see what type of file it is. Plus, if you need to change the type of file it is, then you can use this. Mine's already checked, but again, to turn it on, you just simply check it. And back to home here. You see there's new item. And there it goes. If you expand that, you might have different options in me depending upon what you have. And if you're on a Mac, you don't have this at all. So don't be looking. And if you're not used to using your Finder in MacBook and how to create a folder, let me know. It's real easy for me to create those videos and so forth. Yes, not selected. Oh, the showing the file extensions. Okay. Yeah, you click the View tab, and over here where it says File Name Extensions, you check it. Oh, that's it so far. Assuming you created your folder. Now, at this point, there's a new item here, and you can use this. For example, you could choose text document. Now, see how it comes up and says New Text Document, and yeah, there you go. I'm gonna right-click on it and put it back here, rename. This is where you give it a name, like my page. Now, if I right now it's a text document. The extension on the end is how Windows makes the association of what application to bring up. If I press enter at this point, and if I double click this, it'll bring up Notepad. Now, if I right click on this and choose rename, if I come over to the right and I delete the TXT and put HTML and press enter, it'll say, hey, this might make it unusable. You sure you want to change it? Yes. This is now considered by Windows a web page, even though it's an empty file. There's nothing in it yet. If I right click on this and choose rename and change this to DOCX and press enter, now it thinks it's a Word document. So this extension on the end is what determines it. I have people upload files to Blackboard, computer science students, upload files to Blackboard and it doesn't have an extension on the end. And I have to guess what it is, whether it's a JPEG, which is an image, DOCX, which is a Word document, PDF, which is an Adobe file. So anyway, I'm going to put it back to HTML. And click yes. We're going to talk more about those file extensions. One of the projects I'll give you is to look at the registry, understand a little bit about it. Registry is kind of like the main database of Windows, where it stores all the settings. It's the lifeblood of Windows setup. Okay, besides the files, of course. It has all the settings and everything. I'm going to edit this. Now, you can, by the way, have HTML or HTM. Both of those are web page indicate it's a web page. Now, I'm going to right-click this, and I'm going to choose Open With. And you see I can open it with Google Chrome, but I want to search for Notepad. And if you don't have Notepad there, you choose another app and you look for Notepad. Okay, so this comes up here. And if I want to create a web page, then I'll type less than HTML, greater than, down there, or enter quite a few times, and then do a less than / HTML, like that. This indicates the beginning of my web page. It can be lowercase, like you see here. It can be uppercase. It doesn't care. You can do a mixture. This is called a tag. And for most tags, they have a closing tag. So if you have an HTML, you have a /HTML. To indicate the body of our web page, I'll use the body tag. And then I'll do a / body for the closing of that. Now, this indicates the main body of my my web page. You might say, well, what else is there besides the main body? Well, there's a header where we can put like a title, which we'll see. But here in the main body, I'm going to say, welcome to my page. Now there's a lot of better editors than this one. There's Notepad plus plus, or it's Notepad plus. A lot of students like it. Um, I may eventually show that in this class, but in this one you do file save. Oh, this just comes default with Windows. It's just Notepad. So if you click down here, if you type Notepad, you'll see the application. The Notepad plus plus is the more advanced one, where it has coloring, so you can easily see things. Um, a lot of other functionality, and it's not anything hard either. I mean, you could pick it up. Notepad plus plus. Nope. See how it kind of fills that in, and then you can do a tab. So there's a little bit of code completion. Um, I can do a tab. So I thought it did colors too, but maybe I have to save it first. Let's see, save as TMP, or what did I say, spring. My page 2. Can't name it the same thing. And you see save as type. It has all these different types here. Doesn't mean you can actually compile it and so forth. You see here's HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Click save on that. Now let me try to do something else. Bold. See how as I'm starting typing it up, it's got a code completion. So if I don't remember exactly what it is, and I can come down here and I know there's a bold tag. I wonder if there is. I know B with B bolds. Now, even though that looks black there, it looks bold, that's not because of the B. The B is when we open it up in a web page. But anyway, I digress. Here's my main page from Notepad. And I still have my File Explorer over here. If I come over here, I'm going to right click this and choose Open with Google Chrome. This is the browser I'd recommend. There's a lot of other good ones. I won't argue that at all. Don't use Safari. Safari causes more problems for people in some homework systems. Real exciting. Welcome to my page. But that's your first web page if you've never created one. Now I'm going to hold down my Alt key, ALT, and I'll press my tab over and over to go back to my page. My wife, when she uses Windows, well, first she'd close it completely, and then go to the other application, and then when she was done with that, she'd close it. She didn't understand the principle of going from item to item. You can also click down here and then choose whichever one. So there's a lot of different ways you can switch to different windows. Okay, so welcome to my page. This is line 2. Be sure you save this. So if I do a save, and I may put this on one side, and I may put this on the other side. Now, how you do that in Windows 10 is you hold down the Windows button, the 4 little flying rectangles, and usually in your bottom left, you do your right arrow, and that positions this over on the right-hand side. And then it's asking you which one do you want on the left-hand side. And let me see, where's the web page? It's right here. This way I can have them both up here at once. So if I click refresh, This is line 2, and you may look at that and say, well, that doesn't make any sense because it's not on line 2. In HTML, you have to specifically tell it to go down to the next line. Different ways you can do that. One way is to do a line break. Now, this does not have a beginning closing. It's contained within one tag. So you have your BR, and then right within that, you have your slash. And if I save that, if I come over here, now it's on line 2. Now, let me space this over a little bit so it looks better, like that. Save that, come over here, refresh this, and refresh again. It didn't work. Just like you have to specifically tell it a line break, if you want to have it spaced over, you have to tell it in some way. And this is how you do a space. Ampersand, that's above your 7, so you do Shift 7. NBSP semicolon, non-breaking space. If I want 5 spaces, I need 5 of those. Okay, so now if I save it and refresh this, it spaces it over. Tedious, right? But that's a nature of a markup language, and the reason it is that way is so it can, in theory, be displayed on many different devices. That is kind of universal. Now I'm going to go to another line. So do the line break. Let's say I'm going to go down 2 lines. Well, I'll have to do 2 BRs. Okay, and so in this one, I'm going to make this bold. How you make something bold is with a B tag. I believe I is italics. This is italics. Assuming I spelled that right. Put line breaks there. Now you can format this however you want. If you want an extra line here to make that look better over here, then do that. Because it doesn't care over here. It ignores all those anyway. Let's see. Underline is probably U or UL. Let's try U first. I don't got them all memorized. This is underlined. Mainly because I don't sit there and hand code HTML anymore. Okay, so bold, italics, underlined. You can do mixtures. So you can do a bold, and then you can do an italics. This is bold, italics. Then a slash I to close the italics, and a slash B to close the bold. So bold and italics. Let's see, bold, I, this is a mistake. Slash B. Okay. I did not have a slide. I did not. Oh, I didn't put a line break. Okay. Never mind. Refresh that. There, that's better. Okay. Let's see, this is a mistake. Okay. Line break. Welcome to my second part of my page. Line break. Now notice this is italics. Notice up here I made a mistake. I didn't put a slash. Well, it just thinks I need to keep on italicize. So if you forget the slash, it'll just italicize everything after, or whatever tag you're working with. So keep in mind that. Now let's say I meant to put I, but I put David I. Well, still italicize that and ignores my error. There's no tag called David I. HTML is set up that way. What you'll find is that you could screw up on your HTML and most of the page will still look just fine. Could be all of it looks fine. So you'll find mistakes in many pages. Now, if I go to Cali, when you got a web page, if you right click and then choose View Page Source, and all of these have this, this is Google Chrome's version of that, you can see the HTML they used to build that web page. Now they didn't do this from hand by hand, so there's editors that do this. And they're nice GUIs, graphical user interfaces, where you can bring it up and you can design your web page, clicking here and dragging and so forth. Dreamweaver is a big one from I believe Adobe. I got it installed here. No, I don't. You can see there's a lot of different parts to it. We're going to see. We're going to learn a lot of this. You might say, well, if you got a nice package that'll do it for you, why do you want to learn how to do it by hand? Well, in programming, it's become more and more to where you need to deliver your results from like a database into a web format. And having this knowledge of HTML is essential. Nobody actually ever designs a web page, except for myself, from scratch. Here's my web page. mathheals.com. It's not great. I mean, I don't put any kind of effort into the web page part of it. But if I right click on it and choose View Page Source, I wrote this from scratch. And so it's a lot simpler than what you see over in like Cali's. Now there's checkers for web pages for looking for errors. Or if it's not compliant. I don't know if this one does it. We'll try it. Cali, I think it was already there. This is what they've screwed up on the web page. Fatal error. Let's see about my page. It'd probably be horrible. That's embarrassing. But like I say, it accomplishes what I want. A lot of things you have to consider if you're designing a web page. Okay, back to HTML. If I want to make something big, you can probably guess what I would choose. Big. And then, of course, our slash big makes it a little bit bigger. I guess I ought to close italics. Now, let's say I don't know where I'd close it at. I can close it anywhere. So it doesn't have to be like symmetrically, if this is B first here and I here, I have to have a slash I and slash B. It doesn't matter. It's pretty free form in that way. This is big. I want to make it bigger. Have two bigs. Let me go and do a small. This is smaller. We're going to see how we can use CSS to control more of the fonts. By the way, you can just put BR. You don't have to put that slash. But the BR is the old HTML. So it makes it bigger. Another way, and this is more than just big and small, but you can declare something with a H1 for header. So H1 is the biggest header. There's H2, next biggest one. All the way down, I won't write them all, but there's the last one is H6. For somebody that is visually impaired, header tells them that it's something important. Where if you just take big to make it the same size as H1, that does not emphasize to a visually impaired person that it's an important piece. Headers always indicate like the start of something important. Maybe a new topic on our page. Let's see, there's the biggest one, next biggest, smallest header. Again, I can accomplish this exact same thing with the bold, maybe the bold and the big, but this is for ADA compliance, which is how you want to design your web pages. There's also a paragraph. So I can do a beginning paragraph and closing paragraph. Maybe I don't need line breaks on these, because that sure put a lot of white space there. Let me get rid of those. This is a paragraph. This is another paragraph. Okay, now look up here. When I did a line break, see how close together these are. Down here, when I did a paragraph, see how there's a certain amount of spacing between them? Because paragraphs are actually separated. So that's kind of the difference between those. There's a lot of other things we can do with paragraphs, but that kind of shows you the main idea on them. Now, if I want to do a list, my favorite restaurants, line break. Let me think. Ordered list, OL. Now I do a slash OL. That indicates a list, specifically an ordered list, which means it can be numbered. Though we're going to see with CSS, you can change a lot of different items about it. If I do an LI, let's see, what do I like? Byway. It's up in Wichita. Slash LI. And let me think, what else do I like? Arby's. Now, let me save this. And see how it's coming up with a list here. And by the way, the fact that I space this in like this has nothing to do with it being spaced in here. Because remember, spaces over in your actual page over here do not equate to spaces over here. Now that's an ordered list. An unordered list is just where it puts bullets. So you do UL and /UL. And maybe this would be, what would this be? My favorite languages, or languages. I don't have any kind of order on them. So I like C# the best. So C#/li. Java. I like Python. That's probably enough. Now see how they've got bullets on them. So those are how you handle lists. Now, if I want to go to a different web page, okay, so I'm going to do this is how we do a hypertext link to another page, and then click here for the other page or for math fields. Then /a like that. Now, with some of these tags, you have to tell it where it's going to go to. Here, if I put href, then I can type http://www.mathheals.com. I'm going to do an enter there so you can see all of it. We're going to put more there in a minute, but let's take a look at that. Now you see this here, and it's actually got a little line underneath it. Now, if I click this, it'll bring up my my web page. Now, if I do the back, I can go back to the one I was on. Let's say I want to open it in a new window. Then, tags do not have to all be in the same line either. I can do my closing there and have my hypertext there. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Target, I think. I don't need enough of this by hand anymore, I guess. And target new. Let's try that. Okay, so come down here. Doesn't look like it changed any. Now if I click it, see how it opened it up in a new tab? There's different items you can put here, which we'll talk about later on in the course. Is there any questions so far on this? Okay. The what? Correct. Yeah, I'm recording it because I know it's a lot. There's also a fantastic website. It's called W3 Schools. And I definitely recommend this. When I'm trying to figure out how to do something on HTML and I forget, this is my go-to place. You can even see this HTML tutorial there. But if you click here, you'll see Learn HTML. And then you see down here, if I'm trying to remember how to do something, I can come down here and it'll kind of guide me how to do it. For example, we looked at headings. See, there's what heading 1 through heading 6 looks like. Plus, you can try it yourself. That's the beauty of it. If you click that, then you can come over here and you can try changing this to whatever. And then you click the run. If you're trying to remember something and maybe you don't want to search through the video because going through an hour video is kind of tedious, this might be a better way. If you search, like we did, bold, so I might type HTML bold. And this tells me, well, it did, so it'll pop down. HTML B tag. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, it was a B tag. Click that. And try it yourself. And you see that it bolded this part because we got the B around it. Now notice that H1 by default looks bold. Okay. Let's see what else is here. We're not going to get through. I never get through the entire chapter, but I just want to use this pattern. Correct. I want you to basically use whatever tags we cover in class and create a web page based on it. Right. So a lot of people do introductions to them about themselves, but yeah, if you want to do something else, I'm fine with that too. Now this goes through a lot of good information, so be sure I'll put these PowerPoints up. Be sure you kind of read this because it kind of summarizes items out of the book. History of HTML is probably not too exciting. These are items that if I was going to hire somebody, as a computer programmer in the IT field, and I knew I wanted to integrate my database with web technologies. If I asked you in an interview, have you worked much with HTML? And you would say, what is HTML? Well, you probably wouldn't be receiving my consideration. Cross your name off the list pretty fast. So there's a lot of things you need to have some basic knowledge of. Even if you're not perfect, I'm not a genius at HTML. It's a vital thing, especially in getting employment, that you can know what HTML is and you've done a little bit of it. Okay. Boy, this is many pages to get down to here. They say to put this as your very first line, but it works just fine without it. I suppose someday it won't. Somebody told me I program HTML is like they did 20 years ago. He was right. That's when I first started using HTML. It talks about just generally about a tag. Okay, see, that's how far we got last time. The header. Let's talk a little bit about the header. We did the body. Okay, up here at the top, between HTML and body, I can put head and /head. This is where I can put header information, and this is actually where our JavaScript is going to go. There's other places you can put it, but this is kind of the concise way. Specifically, the only thing I'm going to put up here now is a title. Welcome to my page. And then /title. I'll save that. Now notice over here, this tab says mypage.html. That's not very user-friendly. If I click refresh, now it says welcome to my page. So that's what that does. There's also a footer, which we'll see later on. Okay, let's talk about that. Handling white space, talked about that. Viewed it in the browser, we did that. Document head. Some of these we'll see later on, like script, that's where you put in your JavaScript. Style is more of the CSS. Here's the title like we just did. Meta tags used to be keywords is how you told search engines how they found you. Like if I go to Callie's page, I think I still have it somewhere. Maybe not. Right click on it, say view page source. You see I got a bunch of meta tags here. Robots. This is what allows your page to be indexed by like a search engine. In theory, you can mark a page so it can't be in a search engine. Because I think it's kind of an honor type system though. So let's see, Control F, meta. robots, format detection, author, college. There's a copyright information. Here's meta name description. Guess we don't have any keywords. Let's see any. The description is one thing that it looks at, a search engine looks at in order to know what to find. I don't know if it's good enough where I could put this in and find it, but let's see. I didn't type anything about Cali. I just typed educational journey happened amidst these challenging times, and look what it finds. So finds our first one. It's interesting. I'd be tempted to go to that, except for it's probably got a virus on it or something. It's just like it looks like they've recreated our site. Okay, here's how you put a comment. Comment doesn't appear on a page. It's just the way you're documenting. I don't know if anybody really does much commenting anymore. There shows you a page. By the way, comments are done automatically by those editors I was talking about. Okay. We talk about H1 through H6. There's navigation section, body. You're not going to go into a lot of this. But if you want to design web pages, this shows you how you can split things up. See how we got the header up here, footer down here, and within our body we have a navigation. So you have your navigation window here, then a section, and then the side over here. So again, different ways you can design your web page. Div that defines a section of your web page, a division. This is kind of nice because maybe you want to apply some kind of style sheet to a particular division, or you want to change the HTML contained in a division, and we'll see that with JavaScript. Let's see, figure caption, HR. We could probably easily spend the entire semester just on HTML, and that's not our goal. Okay, so if I want up here to have a line here, that stands for horizontal rule. If I come over here, see how it puts a line across. So that's how you put a line across. And again, CSS is going to allow us to change that quite a bit. We talked about OL, UL, and LI. P is a paragraph. Pre. Let's take a look at that. That's kind of interesting. Let's see. Pre. This is pre. Let's see what it does. /pre. And do I need a line break? Probably. BR. Look at that. Put spaces there. When you put a pre, then it'll format it exactly like you've arranged it here. So if you don't want to put 5 non-breaking spaces, you can do a pre and space it in like that. This is nice in some ways. Okay. Still, you can do HTML tags inside of it. If you got a lot that you're trying to format and you're having to do it by hand, then using a pre actually makes sense. I did this when I'm out of time. I just mentioned it real quick. Um, I created 3 courses for University of College. Um, what was the name of the place? University of Maryland, University College. University of Maryland, University College. They're computer science courses, and I had to put code in there. In code, you do not want it to have all these weird spacings and so forth. You want it exactly as it looks, as how it appears. Then that's how you can use pre. There's another one that does the same thing. Um, we're out of time. So just to summarize real quick. Let's see. Let's find Blackboard. There's Blackboard. It'll be under Unit 1 is where I'll upload it. Now the two items due is a Unit 1 test, and then the HTML page introduction. And you can make this a introduction about yourself. You don't have to use any tag except for what we covered. Um, those other ones we'll pick up along the way. So I'll introduce new tags each week. But those are the two items for this week. And I'll put the YouTube recording in the same folder, and I'll upload these PowerPoints after the video gets done processing. So questions, anything? Welcome. Well, have a good day and week. Yeah, it flies by, doesn't it?